Hi, my beautiful, my delicious, my altruistic and very decadent sometimes, sometimes disgusting and very favorite, very, very noisy and very annoying, beautiful Capricorn North Node or North Node in the 10th house. I'm sorry if you don't know who's in front of you sometimes. I'm not quite sure what happens with you guys, but you kind of like lose it a little bit. What I mean is like the make of what you're looking at is sometimes beyond you, or the culture in which you are creating what you're doing. It's kind of like you're tone deaf a little bit, or you're tone deaf to life. In Vedic astrology, Capricorn has a nakshatra inside, which is for the hearing, the ears. So Capricorn is an energy of hearing, listening, or heeding, or realizing, understanding, and seeing the greater meaning or the greater concept of stuff. Okay. If you have this particular North Node, you might sometimes not quite hear or not quite understand or realize the full concept of who you are and where you are appearing, where you're going. The context of your work is maybe dark, or it's too light. Maybe you're trying to make it too much or too small. Maybe you are meaning too little or too grand. Maybe you are speaking too high or too low. Perhaps there are meanings that you're missing, and that's not kind of like anyone else's job to show. The unfortunate thing is that it is nobody else's job but yours. So you gotta like swim in the deep end and bump your head if you can't let go, or be easy about this need to strive. Striving ahead, no matter what, you guys, you strive so much, too much, and then you kind of get known. And there's not really a chance to tell you what's up till it's done. So for example, you walk around, you get yourself a reputation, and people are watching it crumble and burn, or we grin and bear, and it's done. So it's like you are the reputation person. You create your own reputation as you follow or as you unwind. And as you work through things, as you work things out, as you step through and through and through multiple versions of yourself, of your own soul and psyche getting heard and getting seen, you emote and you bring in or you bring out somebody else or something else from you. So it's like you, like not just a person, you're like a strand maker, and you become like a branch from which another branch can be. So it's like you are like the corporate person, or you are the worker. The reputation is very usually surprisingly sound. This is like weird, it's like when you get the politicians, it's like politics, never mind. It's just basically you are like really great anyway. So like, for example, you went out there, you tried singing, you tried vocal coaching, it made you feel really sad, really bad, nobody really understood you while you were made for TV. And then through some weird interlacing with people, through some odd taking a chance, giving people a chance, through some odd concoction, through some very, very old school stuff, you make it anyway. So even if you started in one job, you'll end up in another job. I mean, this is like the Fergie situation, Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas. She started as a stripper, and then she became like a little sort of like go-go girl, and then she became herself. It's like, even if it doesn't look like you're getting there, no matter what, the reputation is correct, or like the show and tell that you bring up in other people, that what you show in the world, how you're showing in the world, what is interesting or rapturous about you, gets realized, and it's almost like a chemical that gets released. It's almost like a story that gets realized, so it's not just about you. It's not just about you and who you are. There's everything and who you are and what you are presenting, and it's always right now. It's always right here, and it's always right now. The worst case scenario is that you're knocking on the same door, getting turned down, getting kicked about, laughed at, beginning to see yourself as lower and lower and lower in the chain of events. So you're not growing up, you're growing lower. Capricorn, 10th house building, you're growing below a level. And you're still not quite sure why the heck that's going on. You get a bad result and you're still not sure. For example, you are getting a lot of people calling you, or you're getting a reputation for who knows what. You're getting people talking behind your back, and maybe you're hearing people say really horrible things to you, and you're still pushing on, and you don't want to maybe very quickly see what you're feeling about a situation is usually right. And that inner impulse, or that inner sense of who is who and what is usually completely right on. It's just you don't want to tell yourself that. And maybe you just want to kill some time. And in that time killing, even without self-respect, even without proof, and even without any true ethic for where you actually need to be and what you need to do, there are always going to be things happening, people happening, events, and it's like magic how it happens. It's not really about people, it's not really about communities, just about everything. A clipping in the paper, 1111, synchronicity, this. It all holds hands for you to achieve, because everyone sees you achieve, everything else gets raised up. You get the job, we get a job. You get the center stage, we get the center stage. So there's going to be always something more and more and more and more astoundingly giving about you. But the only one thing that we really, really want in the end is to wait for it, wake up, because we are not brave enough to make the choices you do. We are not brave enough to make that choice. That amount of money and that endeavor, we can't handle it. So even though you, for example, are crumbling, and sometimes you're fading away, and sometimes you might be making very, very little for what you really need to do, and sometimes you might be so separate from society and so completely alone and so completely isolated and so completely like in love with the wrong thing. Even though it makes no sense, even though there is nothing else, it just mind boggles. You're still good, and all of that still makes everybody like even cry. Okay, you make us emotional. Okay, everybody still like holds your hand, and everything responds and respects. In the end, there are phases where you can kind of like count your chickens, like how did you do in the end. Okay, so I was an alcoholic, I went astray, I cheated on my wife, like I walked around naked, like nobody needed to see me naked outside, like I became really upset and obsessed, and I did all these drugs, and I made all these jokes about like politics, and I got myself into a fight, and then I wrote a book about like celestial mind and like why people like really hate each other, and what good is anything in the world anyway, and what the heck. You did it, you made it out of a dysfunctional state. So even if you don't have your chickens, your ducks in a row, even if you don't know, what is this big idea? Why is this like this? Why is it like that? Even if you don't know, it is not a bad energy. It's not nervous. You are just made for something even greater than you know. But how and why it all comes together in a very seismic way is a big conundrum to other people. And we'll never understand how you got there until that very last step. So thank you very much, enjoy, and I hope this has been interesting. Also, if you have your North Node very close to the MC, so it's a conscious MC North Node, so it's like, say for example, 10th house North Node, but it's very close to the MC, or if you have your MC on the Sagittarian side of Capricorn, you're it and you can't help it. You're it and you can't help it. You walk in, can't help it. You make a choice, altruistically sometimes, and with no decadence, and sometimes some of you guys don't even know why you're the business. We just want you to find a way to show us who you are on some level. It's like, you are the one we want. It doesn't matter what you do for a job. It doesn't matter if you make jokes on TV, if you cut people's hair, if you cut people's lawns, if you build houses for a living, if you do nothing all day, it doesn't matter. We just want you to see yourself enough for us to see you up there. And through your up there, we get higher. So you are learning, we're learning, and everything needs to teach itself to also learn and a beautiful, resonant, and sentient state. So thank you very much. Enjoy, and I'll see you next time. Bye.